We're back with the rescue animals again, but we're not going to be talking about them today. We're going to be talking about this. Yep, welcome to a new area of product experience. Not the best tagline, but it's a tagline. That's the tagline of Sleeve Chief. Yeah, they only have a little card storage box thing here on the front or back or whatever the front of this thing is. But yeah, we've got ourselves a giant, not really giant, but I guess a pretty good sized storage box here from Sleeve Chief, who we have reviewed before. And we're going to take a look and see if this particular version of their storage boxes is actually any good. All of their products that I've reviewed in the past have actually been excellent. And as you can see, the plastic is not on this one anymore. I did open it up because I wanted to take a quick look at it before I was able to do the video here. So let me go ahead and slide the sleeve off here. This is the underside of the box. And as you can already see, it's got a very nice green color, like a forest green sort of cover to it here. It's actually very, very soft too. This is not, or at least it doesn't feel like PU leather. This feels a lot more like lambskin. So there's a very nice, soft sort of feel to it. Almost a sort of satiny feeling. So yeah, it's definitely a bit different than most of your other storage boxes out there that's got more of a material sort of like this, which is, you know, more PU leather. This is more of a lambskin feel. So it feels really, really nice in the hand. But the main thing that you're going to love about this, and I'm sure you've seen it on the thumbnail, is that face. Yep. Any Yu-Gi-Oh player is going to know what this face is. For those of you who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh and have no clue, that's the pot of greed face. And yeah, we all know what he represents there. So I don't even start with the memes. I'm not going to do it. I know exactly what pot of greed does. Cut it out. Anyway, but yeah, it's got a nice little embellishment here on the very top of the box with the pot of greed there. As far as if this image is licensed or not, I couldn't say. I don't know. I don't know if this is, you know, because I know the artwork itself is copyrighted. This isn't exactly the artwork. This is more of, I guess, to get away with it legally, would you call it a parody? That's what I would have to imagine. But this looks an awful lot like the actual pot of greed from Yu-Gi-Oh! So take with that what you will. But anyways, yeah. Looks really nice. It's actually kind of like carved into the top here. It's not just like a sticker or something that they stick on there. It is pressed into it. You can actually feel the lines around it. And it looks pretty good. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the box here, and we're obviously going to take a gander on the inside. We're going to see if this particular box is worth your money. Again, I'm not going to mention any pricing because the pricing on these types of things changes a lot. Let's take a look at the stitching here. All right, let's see. Stitching up front looks good. On the very top looks good. Back looks good. Underside looks pretty good. Seeing a tiny, tiny bit of wear here, but I guess that's actually pretty normal here because, you know, when you kind of stack these things, they do have a tiny, tiny bit of wear because they do rub around a little bit. As long as it's not excessive when the product is listed as brand new, I think it's fine. Let's take a look at the sides. We got some loose threads here. That's a double stitch, though. But there is a bit of a loose thread. It's not that bad, actually. I can feel it, but it's not that bad. Other than that, it looks fine. Let's check the other side. Same thing here. It looks like this is where they're just ending the stitch. I am seeing some excess glue. I'm not sure how clear that comes out on camera. Seeing a little bit of excess glue right there. But most people probably wouldn't look at it from a cursory glance. You would not even really notice that. I'm only noticing it right now. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems there. But the stitching looks okay. And again, we've already talked about the lambskin feel. Very, very nice. It does have a bit of a grippy feel to it. But not super grippy. So definitely has that nice feel to it. Let's go ahead and open this sucker up. And while we do that, we can test these magnets. Okay, these magnets feel extraordinarily weak. Now, this is a storage box, to be fair. This is not, you know, a deck box. So you may not necessarily put this in a position where it's going to get banged around a lot. I mean, of course, you could still travel with it, but good chances are you're probably going to use this for home use. So the magnets probably not as important, but you still want them to be at least reasonable. And these it feels like there's only 2 magnets here. Let me open this up here. Let me see if I can spot. Oh, we got some, yep, we got some dividers there. Can I spot where these magnets are? One. I think I'm spotting 3. Yeah, I think I only see 1, 2, 3. So that means we have a total of 6 because we have 3 here and then we have 3 on this flap. So it looks like we've got a total of 6 magnets there. They're fine. I think for a storage bin, they're probably fine. They could be better though. All right, so let's go ahead and finish opening this up. I'm going to check the stitching here on the inner part where we didn't see before. Looks okay there. Okay there. Let's go ahead and flip this over. Get the back side. Got some excess glue right here. Stitching's mostly okay. A little kind of but I'm not going to count off for that. It's so minor right there. I'm not going to mess with that. Stitching feels mostly okay there. Yeah, it looks like we just have a couple of spots here with some excess glue. Right here and right here. Okay, let's take the look at the inside of the back flap. Very nice dark black. It looks like we already do have some rubbing here, as you can see from where it's rubbing on the aisleways. The stitching itself got a little bit of a knot there. Looks mostly fine. Of course, you've got that nice kind of black, not soft, but, you know, not hard either. Kind of a decent little, it feels actually kind of, that's kind of weird. I don't know. This feels a little odd to me. It doesn't feel like a regular, let me grab something. Hold on. Is this sort of like a normal texture? I guess the material they used is slightly different. Maybe this is a different sort of, I don't know. This feels like maybe like a cotton or something. And this feels more like a cotton blend. So maybe that's the difference there. Slightly different materials. But it does still feel okay. It feels nice. Let's go ahead and bring this on over here now. We'll take a look at the aisleways. As you can see, you've got 3 aisles. And let's take a look on the inside here. I'm going to check the corners for glue and stuff. This looks a little messy right here. This looks like it could have been done a little bit better. Got a little bit of excess glue there as well, in 2 different spots. More glue here. This corner actually looks fine. Okay, let me take a look at the bottom. A little bit of excess glue right here as well. This one is a little bit better as far as the corner work. Looks like some extra threads or something in there. Looks mostly okay though. So it looks like this corner up here is going to be the one that I have the most concern with. I mean, it's probably going to function just fine. It's just, you know, it could have been prettier. Could have been done a little bit nicer, a little more tidy. But the aisleways themselves, are these actually stitched or glued down? They are. These are actually not glued or stitched down. It looks like they're kind of embedded into the bottom of the storage box itself. So, yeah, these things are not going to be going anywhere. On the sides here, these feel like they are glued in. So from the sides, they're glued in, but from the bottom, it looks like they're kind of embedded into the storage box itself. So, yeah, they are not meant to move. These do not come out. So not bad there. Now, how large or how wide are these things? Let's take a look. Let me grab a top loader. This is a standard 3x4 top loader right here. And it looks like that is not wide enough on any of them. So that means that a magnet holder is definitely not going to fit. You could technically force it like that, but that's not going to be attractive. Same thing here. But yeah, this seems just perfectly fine here. Do we want to put some cards in there just so you can kind of see what these look like? Let me get our commander deck here. And these are 100 cards, single sleeve. We're just going to toss these in here just to kind of give you an idea of how they look. That's really about it right there. Nothing too fancy about it. I know it's black on black, but yeah, it's about as good as you're going to get. There is a little bit of room on the edge here. They do have some wiggle room, but not a ton. So if you were to put loose cards in here, which I do have I have any loose cards? I've got this, but just to give you an idea, plenty of room there, at least a good ½ inch. Yeah, if you were to put that just loose in here, you got at least a good ½ inch or so of space remaining there. So loose cards will bounce around a bit. If you put them in sleeved like this, standard sized cards that is, it helps a little bit because of course the sleeve adds a little bit of overall size to the cards themselves. So plenty of room to work with. Yeah, no big deal there. And of course, obviously it's definitely tall enough. You're not going to have your cards sticking out the top. So yeah, that looks perfectly acceptable there. I guess the next thing we really need to take a look at is going to be let's take a look at these dividers here. They look like very standard dividers. Let me close up the box here. Set you aside for now. These do look very, very standard. Nothing terribly fancy about these. Let's break them out. And let's see. How many of these do we actually get? And we get various colors. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get 10 dividers of varying colors. And they're all got those same little indentions there. It looks like they are fairly decent plastic there. These don't... Let me see. Are these... They are fairly flexible. I'm trying to kind of gauge the thickness here. These feel like 0.7s. I mean, I can always check. Because they are definitely thicker than the 0.5s. Are these 0.7? Yes, these are 0.7. So there's your thickness on those. But yeah, just varying colors. You can write on them with Sharpie and stuff like that. Of course, it's harder to write with black Sharpie on a black divider, but you know, you could still do it if you wanted to, or you could put little stickers. Up to you. Fairly, you know, bog standard stuff. Nothing to really worry about there. These look like they should do the job just fine. They do have. It does feel like one side has a tiny bit more texture than the other, but I think that could just be me. Yeah, I don't really feel much of a difference there. So the dividers, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with them. So the box overall, as far as its usefulness, I mean, it's just a storage box. So it does what it's, you know, meant to do, which is just to store your cards. The build quality is adequate. It could be a little bit better. Like I said, there are some messy glue parts here and there that they definitely need to clean up. Overall, with all the various glue issues that I saw and a couple of stitching issues, and not only that, but also, like I said, the sizing of the aisleways, which is, you know, that's it's not horrible. It still makes the product itself is still useful, but that is a noticeable size difference between some of the aisles. So I hope they can clean that up, get that fixed up. So for all of those little minor things, they just add up. I'm going to have to take a star away because of that. The magnets themselves, like I said, not impressed with the magnets, but for a regular storage box like this that you're probably just going to keep at home, they're fine. They're adequate. If you're going to be traveling with this box, just be aware that if you fill this sucker up and it gets tipped over or something, these magnets are not going to hold. Absolutely not. So do be very, very careful with it if you travel with it. What do I think of this box? I'd say it's good. It's good enough. It's got a neat little bit of artwork here on the top. That in itself, I believe, is going to be enough to sell this box to a lot of people. Again, Sleeve Chief, from you know, all the historical data I have on them so far from the various products that I've reviewed, they always seem to turn out at the very least, adequate products. And at the best, they turn out some really, really good stuff. This is kind of in the middle. It's definitely more than adequate, but not quite reaching the levels of perfection, again, because of all the little minor issues that kind of add up, which, you know, like I said, knocks off that one additional star that I'm going to have to take off there. But overall, I would say if you purchase this, I think you're probably going to be happy with it. I can see myself getting some real use out of this. So we're probably going to put it into service, get some cards stored in here, and just let it sit on a shelf for a while. So, yeah, but there it is. There's the Sleeve Chief 3000, I believe, is the capacity on this thing. 3000 card storage box with the Pot of Greed on the cover there. Again, just for full disclosure, I did get this product sent over to me for free in exchange for an honest review. There will be an affiliate link down in the description for this particular product. And again, full disclosure, if you decide to purchase anything using those affiliate links, I do get a little bit of a kickback, so it is very much appreciated. But yeah, good job, Sleeve Chief. This is definitely good enough in my book. If there was, you know, other storage boxes like this and they were all about the same price, I could probably see myself going for this one simply because of the Pot of Greed face. Because, let's face it, it's a little entertaining. It really is. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the video, all of the good YouTuber stuff. And we will see you all next time.